Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me, Luana Hodges, YBC Youth Building Conversation. This evening, I will be sitting down with Miss Chanel Fields, CEO, founder of Sweet Fields. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am great. I am great. So before we get started, can you pray us in?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Can I what?
Can you pray us in?
Oh,
Can
me
you
pray.
open us
Okay.
up in prayer?
Sure, absolutely. Um, Dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for today. We thank you for this opportunity to meet. Oh God, we ask that you keep us and cover us as we go through the rest of our evening and the rest of this interview, oh God. We ask that you place the words on our tongues that people need to hear. That we need to hear and understand about ourselves as well. We thank you, we praise you, and we give you the glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. So I thank you for sitting down with me this evening. We had to kind of postpone from Wednesday to Thursday, but that was okay. As long as we get this interview done, we will be okay. So let me give you a little backstory because I love to give a little backstory about the person that I'm interviewing. Because I don't know Miss Chanel, but I have met her before and I have heard her pitch her business, and I have tasted her sweets. So, and saying that, you will know how I get to meet her during the interview and stuff like that. But it was very a pleasure meeting you. Your business is the bomb. Your
Thank
pastries,
you.
that cinnamon roll. Oh my God!
Thank
My
you.
son was like, "Why you ain't bring me that home, Ma?" I was like, "We're gonna have to go up there and get some." Uh, my daughter go to Morgan State, so I'm gonna have to run past there, get your address, and come by and get some cinnamon rolls. But I know there's more that's going on with Miss Fields and how you became Miss Fields and Sweet Fields. So before we get started, who is Chanel Fields? I always ask that question. Who are you?
well, I am a mom, uh, a wife, and a simple girl from California. That's it.
Okay. So how have the past 2 years during COVID affected you professionally, personally, and spiritually?
Um, I will say so spiritually, you really have to. I'm a big proponent of looking within, understanding why you do the things that you do, and then also just being in tune and in touch with God or source, however you want to classify. But I believe a relationship with God is essential. We've all been going through a lot these last couple of years, world shutting down. We can't see loved ones. Everyone's trying to figure out what's best for them. And, so being in tune with your spirit and what's going on, it helps to guide you and keep you centered. And so, during these last couple of years, even with my business, I had to get quiet and
Mm.
listen and pivot my business a couple times because how I was started out doing business is not how I was doing it in COVID. And even now coming out of COVID, I've had to shift it again. So that would be spiritually. Just being more in tune with just being more in tune. And then personally, um, I don't know. I mean, I'm not I, I don't know. Personally, not much because I'm kind of a homebody. So I actually embraced COVID a lot. I got to be at home and not be bothered. And I really like that. I really like that a lot. So, yeah, no, that was great. That was great. And then professionally, I was I went back to work at one point, and then this last year has been full time, just me and my cinnamon rolls. So
Nice.
it has really pushed me into professionally. The last 2 years has really pushed me into um, just another lane of hustle and drive and push and determination. Really just betting on myself and going for it. So
Nice.
that's
Nice.
the last two
Nice.
years.
I love it. I love it. So wait a minute. You mentioned you was from California.
Hmm.
So reading your bio, you was in New York, you here, you from California. How did you come from the West to the East Coast and
So,
not go back to the West Coast again?
well, I went to school in New York City, well, out in Long Island, actually, at Hofstra University. I originally started as a drama major. Then I was like, I took this class first semester, and it started breaking down the finances of the business, and I was like, that sounds like a lot of struggle, and I don't know if I want to go through that. So I changed to be a finance major. After school, I went to work for the bank for like 7 years on Wall Street, and that was that was cool. But they will chew you up and spit you out. And when I was about 5.5 months pregnant, we had some shifts in management, and not everyone likes the highly melanated folks. And it was a lot of us getting let go. And I was one of them.
Okay.
And I just decided I didn't want anyone else to ever have that power to decide how my family and I ate ever again.
Yeah.
And so I actually went home a few months later to have my son. So I went home to California, San Diego, where I'm from. And while I was there, when my son was like 2 months old, I decided to make something sweet for my husband and my mother-in-law, because they were coming out for the christening.
Mm-hmm.
And I just randomly came up with this idea of making cinnamon rolls. I'm giving you a little bit more than what you asked for, but and then my husband, he lives in Maryland, so that's how I ended up coming back this way, because he was like, I'm not moving. I was like, well, we
Right.
can stay in California. He was like, no, no.
No. Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We'll touch a little bit more. What makes Chanel special? What make you special?
I don't know. I think we're all special, so I don't know how I'm special, but I'm always cup half full, and I am open to all the lessons that life is has to teach me. So I embrace them, soak them up, and I pivot accordingly. That's it.
Okay. 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 So we already got into how you went from the boardroom to kind of we got into a little bit into the gourmet kitchen, but can you explain in a little bit more detail? I know you said that you got laid off and you
Mm-hmm.
would never allow somebody else to dictate,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went home to California
Yeah.
and you made a cinnamon roll,
I
but
make
that
cinnamon
one
rolls.
cinnamon roll is now an empire.
So um I had been looking, when you pray about something, you have to be again in tune, right? Listening for the answer. And so my I decided, like I said, to make something sweet for my husband and my mother-in-law. I was like, well, I'll make cinnamon rolls, but I was like, how can I do something different? I was like, they both love chocolate. Let me make a chocolate cinnamon roll. Mind you, I don't think I'd ever made cinnamon rolls a day in my life. I don't know where the idea came from. I
Wow.
don't know what made me decide to do. I love cinnamon rolls, but I never made them before.
Wow.
So I just happened to be telling a girlfriend of mine, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna make this. And she goes, girl, that's it. That's it. That's your idea. And I was like, you're crazy. And she goes, no, that's it. So I said, well, I'll think about it. And I did. I molded over And my son was born in September. So over like Thanksgiving and Christmas break, I just started making cinnamon rolls in different flavors. Asked my sister to, give me some ideas and kind of come on board with me. And we just played with different flavors. So now we have like over 16 different flavors that we make, if not more than that. And that's how it started. And I just
Wow.
kept going. Yeah.
Wow. So it started, as your girlfriend said, an idea
Mm-hmm.
that basically God gave to you.
Uh-huh.
Technically, God downloaded that. You just thought, I'm just gonna make a cinnamon roll for my mother-in-law and my husband.
That's it.
And
That's
that's
it.
it. Until somebody was like, no, that's it. That's your business right there. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now
how
the funny thing about it is, you know, they they talk about God will prepare you for things and you don't even realize you're being groomed for something or prepared for something or trained for something. So the actual dough recipe that I use, because I was like, I need something signature to myself. How do I figure out a recipe that I like that I didn't get from somewhere else? And my family makes a dinner roll every Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's the only time we make it. It comes from my grandmother when her and her sister were the cook and the nanny
okay.
working for a Swedish woman in
Mhm.
Ottawa, Ohio when they were 14 and 15 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And so they came up with this dinner roll recipe and we make it again every Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's only 3 of us who know how to make it.
Mm.
I'm one of those 3. It's actually now I think 2. I don't think anyone else knows, just 2 of us, because my grandmother literally, she just passed away in April.
Oh.
So it's only 2 of us who know how to make these dinner rolls. And I decided to take that dough because they're coveted rolls. Anybody who's ever had Thanksgiving or
Mhm.
Christmas,
Mhm.
they know you have to grab your own roll. You
Yes.
will find rolls hidden in cupboards, in
Yes.
cabinets, around the house. She'll think you're going to go get a linen and so a bag of rolls fall out. You're like, who hid these? Who hid, and so I took the dough and that's it. And
Wow.
that's the dough. And I turned it vegan randomly. I turned it vegan, but yeah.
So your grandmom was alive to see
Mm-hmm.
basically her legacy, because it's
Uh-huh.
it's it's a legacy. What you're doing is something that your grandmom and her sister created,
Mm-hmm.
and you paving it forward, but
Yeah.
you got your own twist on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still legacy.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, she must have been very proud.
I think so. I think so. One of the last things I said to her, I told her, I said, your story will live on. I said, I'll always tell it. And she said, thank you. That was like the last words we said to each other.
Wow, that's great. That's great. How was the adjustment from working for someone else then going in business for yourself? How was that adjustment?
It was great and stressful all at the same time. Great because I have autonomy of my time, but also stressful because you eat what you kill.
Mm.
And it is all on my shoulders. And, it really forces you to look at things differently. And you can't slack because if you slack, you see the direct effects of that. And so it was really great. Again, just being able to do what I want to do for me and what I believe makes sense. I don't have to answer to anyone else. I get up when I want to get up. I come in when I feel like coming in. As long as my stuff gets done, I'm fine, and no one's going to micromanage that process. But it's also, again, it's stressful because it's a constant hustle, networking,
Yeah.
you know, juggling being a mom and family with work, it's and prioritizing what makes, what hits the priority list higher than others. So
Yeah.
it's great, but it's also stressful. But I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Because you feel free.
Free.
Yeah.
Free. Yeah. I mean, working at the bank, even when you're the manager, there's always someone looking over, like, why did you do it that way? And I'm like, I follow policy and procedure, but I just don't want to do it your way. But
Yeah.
I follow policy and procedure. And you got people who have an issue with that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just, I mean, that's with any job, right? But
Yeah.
it's just, no one wants to be someone over your shoulder every two.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too
Yeah, that is too much. That's too much. So your business name is One of a Kind. Okay. Now I'm assuming your last name is Fields.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. So you added the sweet, but how did you come together to say this is what I want to call my business? And then what does that mean? And then what does Sweet Fields mean to you?
So I didn't come up with the name.
Okay.
I'm not that cool. I was trying though. I really tried. And I was having cocktails with one of my clients, one of my really good clients. And I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. This is when I was I was taking culinary courses. I hadn't even figured out what I was going to do yet. So I had the name probably a year before I had the business.
Wow.
And yeah, I was taking culinary courses. I was doing like chocolatiering courses. I did some training in that, and ice cream making and stuff of that nature. And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the right name. He goes, Sweetfields, as he sips a glass of scotch. Sweetfields. I was like, oh my God, that's genius. I mean, he just rolled off the tongue. So thank you. That's it.
And what does that mean? And what does that name mean to you? Your business name. What does that mean?
It means it's mine. It means it's mine, and no one can take it from me. That's what it means to me. No one can move me from where I stand. It's just, it's all me. As much as I put in, it's me, and that's it. So, I'm also very sweet. I'm nice. So I am a sweet field.
Wait. You have to laugh at that yourself. Now you gave your own self away.
But I'm so sweet. But yeah, that's what it means to me.
So I know you mentioned in your bio that you work closely you mentioned family throughout your bio. Mm-hmm. Started with the grandmom and her sister, how they started making rolls.
Yes.
You and your sister started also making the cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
Do you find it hard working with family members?
No, I love it. I love it. I am super family oriented. My family and I were super, super close. Like, some people, they rather go out with their friends than hang out with family. I will hang out with my family any day of the week. Even during the pandemic, we used to laugh about it. I grew up in a house with a lot of people. A lot of people. And during the pandemic, we would just laugh about it and say, because a lot of families, they had a lot of issues being locked up, in close space together. And we did not have any of those issues. And we used to always laugh and say, oh, but we like each other. We like each other, and we do. And so family is huge to me. My grandmother had 6 kids, and she had 3 stepchildren, and we're all so close. So family is great. I have my cousin and my sister both work with me on the business. It's great. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good. So you entered into the pitch competition.
Yes.
With Ignite Her pitch competition. What did you learn from preparing your pitch? Because I heard so many women say, I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what this was until I did this pitch competition. Now I know. Now I have the information to, if I want to do another one, I can. So getting ready for the pitch competition, what type of preparation did you have to do?
Um, so it was my second pitch competition. So I was able to kind of use that for this one, maybe shift it a little bit. But if I'm being honest, what I actually learned was really during the pitch itself, like at the competition itself. And looking at like the girl who won, when she did her pitch, I said, "Oh, well, we're all done here. That's done, you know." But what I took from it, or what I learned from it mostly in that experience, was how to really make people believe in your product, um and how to showcase yourself in a way that's um I guess most desired to others, because all of it is marketing to others, right? Whether we're pitching, we're marketing to the people we're pitching to, and shifting the perspective so that they're seeing the things they need to see, or the emotion is evoked for them to believe in your product and think that you're going to do the best with the funds over maybe another business. And so that's actually what my biggest takeaway was just looking at that young lady's pitch and how she positioned it, and the information that she brought to the table, and how to best incorporate that into my own pitch for the next time.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, that was her first pitch.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
That was her
It was
first.
really great. She did a phenomenal job.
She did, Avantika. She did. So being in the room that day with nothing but all women entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how did it feel? Like, I
Very
mean,
empowering, very uplifting. A lot of love in that room. A lot of love in that room, a lot of support in that room. And for me, it made me want to continue um, that same sense and energy to encourage and uplift other women entrepreneurs, because we're all in different spots in our journey. I have, you know, a couple, I don't know if I wouldn't necessarily call them mentors, but people who kind of helped me up along the way. And I want to be able to do that for others coming behind me.
okay, great, great. So,
Mhm.
what have been some of your obstacles that you faced, and what did you
um, Learning how to do these mass orders has been a nice hurdle for me. Um, you know, I do a lot of festivals and stuff now. So now, I mean, I'm used to it, and I do a lot of corporate orders. But in the beginning, mass production was a challenge. Before I was in a big kitchen, you know, I'm a baker, so we're covered by cottage law. So I was allowed to bake from home. That was a challenge. I tried baking, not tried, I did. We baked 3,000 cinnamon rolls for a corporate client of ours, and the first one was from home. I did not sleep for 3 days. I did not sleep for 3 days. So that was a big challenge, just that mass production piece. Another big piece was shifting the like staying shifting your business strategy to like that allows you to stay like current to the times. So
Mm,
prior to COVID, we were doing festivals
yeah.
and e-commerce. During COVID, e-commerce took off because everyone's at home. And we also had to pivot to corporate clients. So gift boxes and employee events, things of that nature. Now that the world is opening up, some of my larger clients aren't doing as many events. So shifting again back to getting in front of the people that I'm marketing to. So doing more festivals and things of that nature, and understanding just when it's time to pivot and shift your business strategy, and staying current with what the current climate, kind
Yeah.
of demands or requires.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when COVID happened, I think a lot of businesses, I think a lot of everything, even churches, I mean, I think they was having a rough time with kind of
Mhm.
pivoting, trying
Mhm.
to get back or trying to fit into the new norm.
Yeah.
And now it switched back up because it's kind of, it didn't go exactly back to where it was at, but
Yeah.
we're back open, but it's a different type of being back open. It's not
Yeah.
the same as 2019.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people suffered and a lot of businesses closed. So kudos
Yeah.
to you that you're
Thank
still
you.
here and that you're still going.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a huge thing. So in saying that, what have been some of your achievements
Some of my achievements in life or in business.
overall? Overall. Some of your
Uh,
biggest achievements overall.
I know a lot of people, they always say, "Oh, my kids." I would
Hmm.
probably say my son. um, and being able to find the balance, between, like, that home work life balance, because it is easy for me to get caught up at the shop and be there all day. I mean, from 7 to 7, if you let me, and I don't mind. Um, but I'm really proud that I've been able to find the balance and make sure I'm able to give him what he needs, and, like, be intentional about setting aside quality mommy son time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually really, really proud of that. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm proud of it. I'm not a person that gets caught up on some of, like, the award stuff, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, give me real life stuff. So for me, just I think that's really important. That was really important to me. It still is, and so I'm glad. And then I guess not giving up, because business got really kind of shaky earlier this year.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. My husband was like, you need to go back to work. You need a job. You need a job. And I was like, no. And I kicked it in gear, and I was like, mm-mm. No, under no circumstance. No, my spirit was like, nope, that's not what we told you to do. Like, I think there was 2 times where I was getting ready to interview, and I'd get some, like, random big order out of nowhere, like a flood
Wow.
of cash would just come in out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
was like, okay, God, okay, okay, I'm listening. He was like, just do what I told you to do, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think you're, from reading your bio,
Hmm.
I think you're delivering a message with your cinnamon rolls.
Yes, that is.
So,
Yes.
I mean, so it's not only people are getting good treats, but they're also getting something else. So you can
Yes.
elaborate more on that.
So that is a new thing for us. And it will really launch big time January. But and it stemmed from that last conversation I had with my grandmother, when I said, like, I will continue to tell your story and it will not be forgotten. There are so many people of color, but primarily Black people, because that's what I'm focusing on, whose stories have not been told. And they are stories of triumph and perseverance, breaking through the glass ceiling, breaking barriers to make way for those of us who come behind them. And I have a real belief that when you know where you come from,
Yeah.
you do better,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? There's just certain ways I'm not going to conduct myself, because I know the people who came before me, what they accomplished, what they did, what they stood for. And So I know that's in me, and I take a certain amount of pride in that and in myself. And I think that, like, if more of us in our communities understood how great our folks were, we might move more fervently in a spirit of excellence.
Yeah.
And stop thinking that the only thing for us is just this or just that.
Yeah.
But greatness is for us.
Yes.
And why not walk in the spirit of that?
And why not create? Because back then they created their own space. They didn't wait. I know my grandfather did it. Like I tell my mother all, Grandpa left y'all money and y'all ain't know it, which was a whole bunch of land, you know. And as people know, and I'm learning as well through my mentor, all your assets is not sitting in the bank. Whereas that's what we think. We're groomed to think you're rich because you got all the money in the bank, but no.
And that's intentional. That's intentional. That people that we were that's the education that we got, right?
Yeah.
Because those who have the real wealth don't want us to know how to actually attain it or keep it.
And all theirs is in assets. Not
and that's what people don't understand. Like, these people who are billionaires, it's not that they necessarily have that cash in the bank. It's their net worth. That's why folks losing deals with shoe companies, they immediately are no longer in that number of people considered a billionaire, because they're no longer, that contract is no longer a part of their net worth. And it's a hefty contract. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, and that's what, like you said, if we knew our history or our lineage, you know, I think I'm saying that correct.
Lineage, yeah.
Yeah. I have these, sorry, guys, I have these Visalines, and it's, yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But if we knew what type of stock we came from,
that's
I think we'd do a lot better. We would do a lot better.
That's it.
A lot better.
100%.
So yeah, that was good. I like that. So do you believe that you're operating in your passion, your purpose, or maybe both?
A little bit of both. More purpose probably than passion. But I think that God allowed me to have a love for what I do. I'm not the person who's like jumping up to go cook and bake something. That's not me. Like, you know, my sister's like that. She's like, ooh, you know, and she calls me Snuff. She goes, Snuff, or another nickname, which I won't say, but she'd be like, Snuff. She'd be like, I saw this recipe and it's this and that and the third. You want to cook it with me? She has asked me to cook numerous dishes with her. And I'm like, yeah, I'll cook it. But when it's time to go to the grocery store and actually get the things, or to stand up and actually, I'm like, I'm not doing this because I'm not, you know, I'm not interested in it. But my rolls, I'm like at peace when I'm rolling out dough, when I'm making dough, when I'm putting it together. I have a lot of peace. So I think that God made that intentional, because I don't even know why I find it so peaceful. I couldn't even tell you. And maybe some of that is because I made this dough for years with my grandmother. So maybe it has something to do with that. It makes me feel a little closer to her. I don't know. But but that's why I say it's more, I think, purpose than passion. And I think that God knows that, like, I need you to do certain things, and I know he has a lot of things for me to do, and it will come through some of the will come through the arm of this business. Some will come out of a nonprofit I'm about to start. And so I think it's more purpose than passion, but I do very much enjoy what I do.
Nice. Yeah. So when you drop off to your customers and you actually, you know, and they come back, what do you want to leave with your cinnamon rolls? Like, what is the last impression you want to leave with your customers with your cinnamon rolls?
I want them to feel like they are 5 years old in the kitchen, sitting up on a stool that their grandmother set them on. They're swinging their feet, and grandma just put a nice, warm cinnamon roll on their plate with a nice big glob of icing for them to just eat up. I want them to feel like they're at home. I want them to feel warm. I want them to feel love because I make all my rolls with a lot of love. And
And they taste like it.
thank you.
Nice.
And just a part of the community. I don't want them to feel just like a customer. I want them to feel a part of the Sweet Fields family.
But in saying that, I also seen that you give away a percentage of your proceeds back to the community.
So what we do is we actually donate like cinnamon rolls, and then we will go and purchase like rice and grains and stuff like that, for people to take, like for like food pantries and stuff. We do a lot of that. Give
Okay.
back that way.
So not only are you filling people's bellies, but you also doing it with the purpose of helping out in the community with your
Yeah.
business. So you
Yeah.
give me that. I like it. I
Mhm.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So now you mentioned mentor. So I want to know, who's your mentor? Who covers you? Who keeps you grounded? Who covers you? Who keeps you moving and going and you know?
So I don't even know if I'd say I have a solid mentor, but as you describe who's kind of there pushing. So I work currently, the shop that I work in, it is a commercial kitchen that has a cafe in the front. And that commercial kitchen has about 24 businesses that run out of there.
Oh,
And
okay.
the owner, her name is Natasha, and she has a brittle business. And she's like mama bear in the kitchen. So she's on us all. And there are days I come in like I'm just not having a good day. And I'll just go to the kitchen. I'll find myself driving to the kitchen and just sitting down with her, like, Natasha, what am I going to do? And she'd be like, well, let's brainstorm. And we just start talking. Or I'll come in and I'm like, I don't feel like it today. She's like, well, you're here. So just go ahead and do something. You know, you can do it. And actually, I always say God sent me to her because I actually came to her kitchen because I had a big order. And I was like, I cannot do this at my house. I cannot. And I I went to visit the kitchen. And I was like, no, it's not going to work. And she had said, she goes, we can make it work. I said, okay, I'll let you know. But I called her back. I said, no, I don't think it's going to work. Literally every single other kitchen that I had went to closed the door. I said, boom, boom, boom. God just closed them all. Like, nope, can't do it. I mean, crazy stuff. And I had to come right on back. I said, Miss Natasha, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to come on back. And she just laughed. She goes, that's fine. And I would say she's probably a really great, I guess, mentor person. I mean, she really looks out a lot. I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't be as far along without her. I'm not going to lie, because she's really filled in the gap in some ways when I really needed the help. And another person is, and she's so great. It's the lady, she owns Mama's Biscuits. I don't know if you've ever, she's everywhere. She's in Walmart, Target, Wegmans, Publix. I think she's in Whole Foods. She's serious. Her stuff is everywhere. And she basically does with biscuits what I want to do with cinnamon rolls. And I always tell her, like, she lets me know that what I'm dreaming is not too big. Because when I see her doing it, I know that I'm not crazy. Like, I know that I can do it. And so she's a great help in me getting into the grocery retail space, because that's our next goal. Okay. We had some meetings earlier this year. They went great, but it wasn't our time, because they only have certain times a year that our category comes up. And so we're actually going to be going into meetings like this month and next month, So
Yay. Yay. Yeah. I got you.
hopefully,
Here
if
you
all
go.
goes well, you'll find us some stories next year, but I'll keep you updated.
Yes. Yes. So insane. So what's next? Well, I was going to ask you, what's next with Sweet Field?
The grocery store.
Okay.
So we're trying to go into the frozen food aisle and make it happen. That's what we're trying to do.
So I'm going to pull something else out because you mentioned it. Now you mentioned you starting a nonprofit.
Yes.
So what is that about? I mean,
It
you
is
don't have
called
to give,
Slate.
you don't have to give us everything, just a little bit, and then I'll have you back on. When you flush it out, I'll have you back on.
No, it's called Slate, and
Okay.
it's about eradicating private student loan debt in the Black community.
I'll be your first client. Okay. Let me know when you open up.
Listen, because I got a whole story for that one. That one, again, God will be doing things. You like, what are you doing? What is going on? And I wouldn't be passionate about this if it wasn't for things that I went through
Wow.
with these lenders. I mean,
Oh,
it's
oh,
crazy.
that you're about to open up a great business because I think right about now it's a lot of us that have student loan debt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there is a way around it. We just haven't caught on, but there is a way around it.
There are some ways, but for private debt, that's why I'm focusing on private debt, because the private loans, honey, they eat you alive. My student loan debt has more than probably like more than tripled what I actually took out. It's just insane.
Wow.
And so working on it now, I got some things going on, I'm about to wipe that out, but it took time.
Yeah.
And I don't I how can how can Black families be strong when they're weighed down by the ambition of going to school and what it costs?
Yeah.
We're not getting paid at the same rate, yet we have to take out the same amount of debt.
Or more.
Or more. You want the man to be strong in the house. How does he feel strong in the house and lead effectively when you got all that weight? How does the woman feel confident in what's going on at home or with her partner when you guys can't buy a house because your student loan debt is too egregious?
Yeah.
And it's on both of your backs. It's so and why do we finish school and we don't have a clean slate like a lot of other people do? Because their parents have the resources, so they get to now go get top education. Why do we have to go get less than top education?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
I want to help clear the slate.
Yeah.
So it's called Slate.
Yeah. I have 3 kids, and I learned with my oldest. She went out of state.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, my 2 youngest that's in college now, in state, you guys gonna go in state.
Yeah.
It's just more cost effective.
Yeah.
They in there at the same time. But like you said, what if they wanted to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's
real.
Yeah. It's unfair. They playing on So it's like when we do see our educated folks, we worked hard for everything we got.
Yeah.
We worked. Nobody didn't give us anything.
Mm-hmm.
No one didn't give us anything. We worked hard for everything we got.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a great business. So how can my viewers follow you? How can they come order or purchase some Sweet Fields cinnamon rolls?
Well,
Between 16 and 20 different flavors, y'all.
So you can find us on Instagram at Our Sweet Fields, like you and I, Our Sweet Fields. And the same thing for what is it, TikTok? And same thing for the website, oursweetfields.com.
Okay.
And we are also located in Baltimore off of Harford Road and Northern Parkway. So 6615 Harford Road in Baltimore.
I'm telling y'all, get y'all cinnamon rolls because they were good. Oh my God, they was really good. She bought some at the pitch competition. And I didn't even know. We sitting there eating them and stuff until she was like, "Oh, the rolls you guys eating." I was like, "Oh, we was like, oh, snap, okay." Really good, really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
And we also for festivals, we do something a little bit different. We deep fry them. So yeah,
really,
it's I won't even be humble
mm.
about it. It's special. It's very special. It is so good. It doesn't
so
make sense.
so you do the festivals in Baltimore.
Yep, we actually have a big one this weekend, Fells Point Festival.
Can you send me the flyer so I can post it? Is there
Yeah,
any flyers?
there are flyers. Yep,
Okay.
I will send it on over. Yep.
Please do that. Do that. So can you leave some encouraging words to my CEO, business owners who may feel it's too late to accomplish their dreams? Now
It
remember,
is
y'all, she went from the boardroom to an entrepreneur like that.
it is never too late. And if God puts something on your heart, do it. Go for it. Because provision will be made. Doesn't mean it won't be hard or you won't have to work for it, but it is never too late. I mean, it's never too late. I have friends who are changing careers literally right now, and we're in our late 30s or their 40s. It is never too late, and you can go for it. Live your dreams.
Yeah. But-
That's it.
And she got to tend to her baby because your baby's cold.
Yep, he's cold. I was like,
I pray that he feels much better. And I thank
thank you
you for
so
giving
much.
up your time for sitting down with me. I know you got a lot going on.
I'm trying. That balance. Homework life.
That's
Homework.
it. That's hey, look. Let me tell you, we live, so that's okay. He can come to camera. He can come to camera
We
too. I'm just saying, you're an entrepreneur, but you're a mom too. So
have a
you
mom
got you
too.
gotta attend to the babies.
Yeah,
You
he's
gotta
basically
attend to the
telling me
babies.
it's time up. So
Yes,
come,
yes.
let's go
So
cuddle.
yes, I thank you for taking out your time and sharing. I will make sure that I get all her information and the flyer for those that watching that's in the Baltimore area. Even if you're in the DMV area, Baltimore is not that far. About 45 minutes, less about 30 minutes. I can get there about 30 minutes. I'm speeding, but I can get there about 35 minutes. But it's not that far. But check her out. Order some cinnamon rolls if you're a big cinnamon roll eater, like my family is. Make sure you go and support because it's a black-owned family. And like she said, she's going to be in the frozen aisle store by next year. We already
Yes.
claiming it. That's where
Yes.
she's going to be. So you
Yes.
see sweet fields in the grocery stores near you. Coming
Yes.
soon. But in saying that, thank you. I will see you guys next week with another fabulous interview. And make sure you keep wearing your mask. And also, this month we're going to be celebrating Veterans Day. So if you know any veterans, have military folks in your family, make sure you honor them every day and thank them for their hard work that they are doing. So in saying that, good evening and good night.